everybody, it's Sunnett, and we do it all here. What's up? So thank you for joining me today. I hope that you got to watch episodes 1 through 6 in my foster care series, and thank you for joining me for episode 7, where we're going to be going over today childhoods as far as memories, pictures. I would say like an illustration of our childhood, and we're going to discuss that a little bit in depth today. So if you could stick around, I'd really appreciate it. If you could leave me a comment, subscribe, or let me know anything that you guys would like to discuss. If you're a former foster youth, thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time. And if you're just a low income, or maybe not, you just want to hear the stories about what's going on this channel, I really appreciate you being here today. And stick around. So episode 7, childhoods, right? This is such a great episode because I thought it would really encompass a lot of us that went through the system. I have no baby pictures of myself, and it took me many years to come and like work through that emotions and pain and like understanding that I would just never have those things. And I thought this would be a great episode to talk about that because we're in so many different homes. Our parents are addicts, so they're not focusing on like taking pictures or doing certain stuff or like keeping memories of certain things. So for me, childhood and like the pictures or like the essence of like what childhood is, I thought would be a great episode today. So we're going to talk about that in general, and then we're going to go over kind of some instances when I was a mentor, and then we're going to talk about how I work through that with my own children today. So I thought that would be fun, so stick around. Okay, so growing up and having no pictures. So I'm going to show you the one picture of me and my siblings when we were finally placed together in a home. So this kind of outlines when we were finally at the age of like when we were together. I think I want to say like maybe 3 or 4 in that picture, maybe 5. Can't really say. It has always bugged me that I have never seen like baby pictures of myself or got to see pictures of me getting up into the age that I am in these pictures. I used to have a lot of animosity towards my mother because I wanted to see these things. I wanted to be able to share, these pictures, memories, toys, like with my own children. So it was definitely a bit of a grievance that I had to accept and get over. But I just don't think people understand like how, sucky it is to go to people's homes and visit friends and family or other people, and like they have pictures on their walls or they have memories and all these things, or like toys that they've kept and held on to, or clothes or shoes that meant a lot to them. So those were, I think, things that had always stuck with me. When I had branched into mentorship, I noticed that a lot of other former foster youth also didn't have a lot of those things. Some did, because some did get reunited back with their parents or their family. Maybe some got taken at an older age, so their parents did have pictures and photos of them. A lot of us low income, our families lost stuff in storage, so a lot of us really don't have anything from our youth. And I really think that was always a contention part and discussion about moving homes and changing families so many times, is that you kind of feel like you lose a piece of yourself. Like you don't know your whole story, like pieces of your life are missing, and you have to like kind of piece all of those pieces back together to get like a better understanding of your life. And I would definitely say that was something I had to work through. I think my issue was because I was taken so young. I thought like my foster mother was like my mother when I was able to remember. So that was a big issue of understanding for me too. But like I said, it was being able to look at pictures, looking at things and understanding like who I am, where I come from. And because I really wasn't really ever told anything. I was always lied to so much. So it was actually going through the genealogy research, researching my family, where I come from, who are the women in my family, and kind of just like learning how we got to the point of where we are right now, as far as like poverty and all that stuff. And that was a lot of healing for me. I was able to kind of see what, you know, my 3 times great grandmother looked like, and just kind of just to see the women in the family and how we slowly progressed into poverty, whether that's because they had so many children and their spouse died, they didn't remarry, and they just had really hard lives that kept perpetuating into hard lives. So I saw 4 generations of women slowly just grow deeper into poverty, having children, no spouses, either in the military they died, or so on and so forth. But just being able to understand that process through foster care, like, and because you don't know anything, you know, everybody is either on drugs, so they don't really remember, and you can't really take their account in 100. So then the court hides a lot of stuff from you because all these records are sealed. You only know your house placements. When I was asking for records, they only told me like what homes I was in. So it's really hard to like kind of piece this stuff together. But I would definitely say that that's a big starting point, because we all want to see our baby pictures, right? We all want to like look at our old toys or see things from our life. So that was definitely something I talked about in therapy. I had to get over just never having anything, just never having anything. It sometimes still bugs me to this day, but I wish I could share a picture with my kids, but it's definitely something difficult. I would say the transition growing into parenthood, I definitely keep a lot of things. I want to save these things for my kids so they can have, you know, something to pass down. And that's another thing. I think when you get out of foster care, you want to create your own family traditions, your own family heirlooms. Like, I think that's a beautiful thing about once you get out of foster care and you're in your life, is that you can create and do all of these things. You can make your own family heirlooms. You can pass down whatever you want. You can create your own traditions because there are none. You get like a blank slate. And I think that's the positive that I try to take from this experience, that at least there's a positive slate to this that we can start off on. And I definitely do try to think about that a lot. But it is really difficult sometimes, I would have to say, because I guess for me personally, I just would like my kids to see, you know, I guess that just that little inner thing that still kind of bugs me sometimes. I definitely have made peace with it, but it is definitely something that I do think about. Anyway, I did kind of want to talk about childhood today, memories, items, holding on to things, because it is a discussion that I have had with a lot of former foster youths, just about, you know, placements and being moved around a lot. I think for me personally, when I look back at the images that we do have when we were older, at least I'm very grateful we have those and really blessed to see those. But I do know that a lot of us wish we could have more, you know. I'm grateful for what I do have, but I do know we all would. And I did want to note that I do recommend for you guys to do your genealogy if it's something that you want to look up. My brother we still have not found his dad, my littlest brother. And it has been really hard to try and find his information so my brother can like close that chapter in his life. And the only reason why I wanted to talk about this, because I've been through it with all my brothers in some sort of fashion or way or experience, whether that's like we're trying to find a parent or we're trying to like discover more about ourselves or who we are or like what we're mixed with, because hey, it's California, we're all like super mixed. But I just wanted to bring this up because it is a topic that we do discuss a lot, whether it's trying to find our background, pictures about ourselves, our parents, our siblings. My cousins, for example, they were all separated. A couple were adopted out, and then the other two, actually one was only one wasn't adopted out. The other 3 were. And it took them almost 20-something years to find them all. And they were able to meet one time, a couple times actually. But just think about how long it took them to do that, you know? So we all kind of, like I said, experience it in some kind of way. So I'm here if you guys would like to talk about that. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, or maybe how I went about finding our genealogy, my parents' information, I can share that with you guys as well. But I just want you guys to know it is very difficult sometimes because a lot of these documents are sealed. So just FYI there. But like I said, I appreciate you guys joining me in my foster care series. This one's a pretty good one for me today. I do like talking about this because I just don't think people kind of brush it off sometimes, like, oh, it's just baby pictures, or oh, it's just some toys from when we were a kid. But I guess I think when you don't have it, it means a lot more, I guess you could say. But thank you guys so much for joining me for episode 7 in my foster care series titled Childhood. And I really do appreciate you guys joining me and staying for this long in the video. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, or maybe even topics or ideas for next week's video, I appreciate you guys sharing it with me. And I'm sorry this one's a little bit short, but it has been a crazy week for me. And I'm just honestly trying to get caught up and stay consistent with my upload schedule. So I do appreciate you guys waiting for my videos to come out a little bit later. But thank you guys so much again for joining. My name's Sunnett, and we do it all here.